What's going on, people, and welcome to a brand new episode of Too Many Games and Not Enough Time, the podcast where I get to speak to incredible individuals across the globe. Once again, thank you for all of the support on the channel. Fam, I can't believe we are on season 4 of the podcast. It is a madness. But you know what's even more of a madness is the sick guest I have on today's episode, because I have a gamer. He is an actor. You've heard him as Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins. He is the founder of Surgeon Studios. We are talking a brand new game, Tales of Kenzera ZAU. Abubakar Salim, I probably butchered your name, fam. Welcome to Too Many Games and Not Enough Time. How are you today, my brother?
I'm blessed, man. I'm so good. I'm great, bro. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk to you right now. So we're gonna get straight into it. We ain't wasting no time.
All right.
So the first time I came across you was just like many gamers, watching the Game Awards. And I see this brother come on with bare swag. You get me? I was like, wow, my man came out like this is coming to America. You get me? Man came out like that. Almost had the lion on the inside and them thing there. And you came back and you changed the energy in the room. And it's not very easy to do that. You changed the energy in the room and you spoke about something that was super personal to you, and something you wanted to share with the world. So you spoke about the loss of your father, and you spoke about creating a studio, and you was able to give something to the world. And this is a game you are working on. Fam, what was that moment like? I need you to take me to that moment.
It was weird, man. This is like this is the first time that we're actually talking about this game to the world, right? It didn't feel real until that moment. Like, truly, we've been working on this game for 4 years, and it didn't feel real until I literally was on that stage and basically was like, here's my heart. Like, it was very surreal, man. It was one of those ones where, again, like, I look back at it and I'm like, you can only get those moments once. And like, again, as you say, like, you know, I'm an actor, so I've been on stage, I've had cameras in front of my face all the time, like, and most of the time it doesn't faze me. It doesn't even make me, worry or wonder about it. But this moment, I've never felt so nervous and I've never felt so raw at the time, and I think like that was what really stuck out for me. It was the fact that I'm bearing all here, and we just have to deal with it,
One of the things that I love about the Tales of Kenzera is, even though this game is about grief and this game is about loss and it's about a character's journey, when you think of those things, you think of the gritty The Last of Us. You think of something dark, you think of something dingy. But it's completely different. It's bright, it's vibrant, it's fast, it's energetic. Like, what was the thought process of creating this game?
Oh man, again, so truly, like, for me, it was, the idea of trying to represent and show grief in a truthful manner. Okay, the one thing that I learned after I'd lost my father, or the thing that shocked me the most, was that the world just continued to spin. That to me was surreal. This idea that this world that we're in, I'm here with my father who's just passed away, and then suddenly, I'm thinking, oh, someone across, someone in another country right now is just having a cup of coffee. Like, it's just everything continues going, and I think like that's what I really wanted to capture with Tales of Kenzera ZAU. Like, it was this idea of, you're in this vibrant and beautiful world, but the journey that this character is going through specifically is one of pain, is one of kind of anger, is one of a sense of confusion. Like, that's what was really kind of what I really wanted to capture with this whole thing. So yeah, man, like, it was really like, it was a moment for me to try and capture grief in the most honest and truthful way, rather than necessarily trying to make something that's really sad and really kind of, again, as you say, like dull tones and everything. Like, in some Bantu cultures, it's a celebration. The idea
Yeah.
of passing, the idea of moving forward, like it's seen as a celebration, and I think like that's what I wanted to capture here.
I love that. I love that, because I even think about like even being West Indian and going to a funeral, and the beginning of the funeral is all about loss, but by the end it looks like a party.
Yeah.
And to anybody else, they'll be like, "How are you not raving to the death of your thingy?" But now, like we've put them to rest, and now we're in here celebrating the life that they lived.
And that's it, man. That's it. Like it's a celebration of the life that they've lived, and I think like that to me was what I feel like I missed after my father had passed. Like straight away, and it's natural, it's normal. You miss him, you feel angry, you feel sad, but like there is this sense of celebration of the life that they lived that kind of kicks in afterwards, and you're like, yeah, this is what we've been what's been talked about, what we're trying to prepare for. So yeah, man, that's where that vibrancy comes from, because again, to me it's a celebration rather than necessarily a regretful sort of remorseful element.
All right, so we're here to celebrate your moment, like actually putting yourself out there to put a studio together and actually create something incredible with an incredible team. Now, one of the things I love about Too Many Games is a lot of the audience are not necessarily hardcore gamers who can play everything.
Right.
So a lot of my friends, a lot of people, they tune in and they're very selective. Oh yeah, Midas, that looks like a game I'll play, and that's something that they will jump onto. And I feel like Tales has that vibrancy of, even if you're not a hardcore gamer and you're banging everything out, this is something that you can play. So obviously you've already got the check, fam. EA's pushing your thing, but imagine you never had the check, yeah? We're in the lift right now and you're trying to sell your thing to the people then. You need them to know. They're not on the websites. They're not on the forums.
Yeah.
How would you do a quick breakdown as in, this is the game and this is why it needs to capture a moment of your time?
Yeah, I mean, again, I would essentially say, I'm looking to create an experience that essentially captures the beauty of life, but also the complexities of grief, the elements that you don't necessarily you're never prepared for, but at the same time no one is, and it's a universal thing, and and that's the beauty of it all. And I think like that's essentially what I want to capture in this fast, vibrant, full of combat, full of traversal, beautiful sort of celebration of all these Bantu cultures within a game setting. And it all stems from, again, the love that I had for my late father, who introduced me to games. This is looking at games as an art form and celebrating that to its purest form. And that's what it is.
Also as well, I don't want you to downplay how good the actual game is. As this Metroidvania, like the experience and the feeling that you get. But as gamers, we like to play something and feel something. And the traversal in the world is dope, and being able to transfer between the two abilities. There's stuff in it that I really like. Like, I'm not the biggest roguelike guy, but it's got the moments from Hades that I like when the characters are talking and you put so much into dope voice acting. And then I'm not the sickest at Metroidvanias, but the way you make the character feel powerful from the beginning, like, the people them need to know, fam. The people them need to know, you get me? I ain't let you downplay your thing, fam.
I know,
I need to let the people them know. I know you're being humble, but nah, let me give you your flowers and big up the team.
Because this is the thing, because this is the, you know what, again, like, it's one of those moments where this whole process has come through. Everything has a reason behind it, but at the same time, it's all been driven by just love, man. Like pure love. And like, even when I went on that stage, like I was there not to kind of promote or sell a game. I was there to just tell everyone a story. That's all I want to do, man. That's all I want to do, and that's all I want to share. So to have the opportunity of being able to do that, and you also feel it like on a technical level, because I could also feel the pressure, right, of like me chatting on stage and telling everyone about my feelings and about my father. I could feel...
because if you did that and the game was dead,
my God.
Could you imagine? So I made this game for my dad, and and my dad meant everything to me, yeah. And I put out this game,
Can you imagine?
and then I play it, and I'm like, fam, what's this? That what your dad meant to you, yeah? This piece of trash.
Can you imagine? And I remember feeling that. I remember thinking to myself, man, this game better hit. Like, honestly, because I could put myself in the audience's shoes of being like, oh man, here comes another X Factor sub story. What's happening? Like, and then suddenly you got to come up with a big voice. You know what I mean? So this is it, man. This was really truly, as I say, like it came from a place of love. That was what was important, and that was what was integral. Yeah. And I'm just happy. I'm just happy that we're here, man. Like I'm happy. It's again. I can't believe that we're here. I genuinely can't believe that we're here.
It's dope. Well, I'm super excited for people to check out the game. It's also part of the PlayStation Premium. It's out on 23rd of April. Yeah. So make sure you check that out and support. It's a black man who's actually doing the thing. He's actually putting us front and forward. So make sure you go celebrate and support the thing. But Abubakar, I want to talk a little bit about how you got into gaming. Obviously, you and your dad's connection thingy. So let's take it back. Let's take it back to little Abubakar when you was in Welling Garden City doing up hurts and them thing there. Take it back to little, you get me? I don't know if you had an afro or cornrows or whatever was going on with the headpiece.
I had everything, bro. I had everything, man. Like, so the thing is, right? So I grew up in like what I'd call like the countryside, and. No,
bro. Not what you call the countryside. It's countryside. Welling's country. Don't try to downplay it. Like, look, what we would know. It's countryside. Welling's countryside. It is countryside. Yeah, anyway.
It is countryside. It's pure countryside. Like we got cows and sheep and everything. So I grew up there, and you know, it was funny because my mum and dad, they had the option or the choice whether to live in East London or essentially live in Welling Garden. My father, he was a computer engineer, and Xerox was in Welling Garden, so he went to go and work there. And again, the area that I grew up in wasn't necessarily very welcoming, but so
there were no black people.
There were basically there was no black people.
See, he's politically correct. I just say how it is. You get me?
No, look, the thing is like now it's different, right? Now actually there's a lot more representation.
It's definitely changed,
right? But when I was growing up, bro, I remember our primary school photo. I was this black dot in the middle of like this sea of white people. And again, like, don't get me wrong, like that was just the time of what it was, right?
Yeah.
And and the thing is that I had my upbringing, it wasn't bad, like it wasn't scary. So but the thing is that essentially where I grew up, it wasn't necessarily that welcoming. And so my father, as a way of kind of not necessarily protecting me, but as a way of kind of distracting me from it all, and
giving you something to channel your energy
into. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really necessarily connect really with film and TV. Like that wasn't really my thing. Like cartoons, yeah, but like, this was back at a time when it wasn't on demand. You literally had to wait for that moment when Dragon Ball Z came on.
Yeah,
on time,
if you
man.
missed that Dragon Ball Z stuff,
man.
Listen, upset.
So like pure hatred, anger. Anyway, so so he got me the first kind of console he got me was actually a Mega Drive. And and like playing Sonic and everything and all that jazz and yeah, man, Golden Axe and all that stuff, and that's essentially where it started. It started playing with these playing with the Mega Drive, and then we went into the Game Boy, and then I'd say like my true sort of love for games and gaming started in the PS2 era. Like that's where it was. That's where it really became like, okay, this is something that I really love. Like this is my
so
favorite.
let me ask you a question. What was your favorite Sega on a Mega Drive? Because I love Sonic 2. Like Sonic 2's always been my favorite. Like when they introduced Tails, you could have Tails running for you, and when Chemical Plant and that music hit,
it was like, so good. Yeah, it was
like,
so good.
Chemical Plant hits like when I listen to drill music, fam. I'm like like raw, like someone in your squad knew what they were doing when they made them rhythms.
Honestly, man. No, I'd say Sonic 2, man. Because again, you had Tails there when Tails could constantly die but come back to life again. Like it was like Tails wasn't that important. But like no, that was and again it felt like a multiplayer game, right? So that was what was really, really cool and I enjoyed about it. That was, oh man, what a game. And do you remember, did you ever go to Sega World when it was out here?
Yeah, of course, fam.
Oh man, that was
Trocadero and them thing
yeah,
there.
man.
Yeah, fam, and you go out the long, fam,
yeah.
fam, when you went up that long escalator and they had some lights around the escalator,
Oh.
you felt like you was in the game,
it
fam.
was amazing.
Like you was, like you was
Amazing.
transitioning to a new world.
Bro, what a feeling. What a feeling.
Shout out to the old school people know about Trocadero, you get me?
you.
You walk downstairs and they had the big all the suites downstairs and the gaming upstairs. Yeah, fam.
So
I've been
good.
around.
So good, man. So this is the thing. So like that was my vibe as I was kind of growing up and where my love for it came through. But I'd say, truly like my love for storytelling and my love for the actual game as an art form kicked in when I played Kingdom Hearts. And I think that was the game that actually it moved me on an emotional level. And I think because this protagonist or this the protagonist that you're following, essentially all he wanted to do was get his friends back. Like that was it.
Yeah.
Right. And it was this mixture again of like the the Disney elements, and as well as like as well as its own sort of like original elements with a bit of Final Fantasy. Like it was. I think that's where then I was like, okay, these games are really good at storytelling. Like this is essentially where I can move with it. Now, if I played Kingdom Hearts, I wouldn't know anything about what's happening or what's going on. Like truly, like it would be.
Listen, it's known on this podcast that I don't know nothing about what's happening in Kingdom Hearts. I tell people all the time, how the hell is Cloud and Sephiroth with Mickey Mouse, fam? Why is Donald Duck rocking Sephiroth? In which world? Why does Cloud have a wing? Where did this robe come from? Because I actually played Final Fantasy VII before I played Kingdom Hearts.
Oh wow!
So I played the proper OG Final Fantasy. I'm like, I'm about this life. I'm an RPG head. Yeah. And then I played this thing. I'm like, fam, what's Donald doing here, fam? Wait, is that Aladdin? Aladdin, what you doing right here, fam?
Honestly, it's.
But I feel like that game changed a lot for a lot of gamers.
Yeah.
Like a lot of gamers I knew who just the way Final Fantasy VII changed gaming for me, I felt like Kingdom Hearts did that as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
One of the things I want to talk about is the new modern games. So you are obviously an actor by trade, and you've been on stage for theater, you've been in movies, and you've done all of these incredible things. And you actually played the lead protagonist in Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah.
And what games have become now are cinematic masterpieces. Games like Uncharted started kind of opening the door to what that could be.
Yeah.
And then something like The Last of Us literally took that to a whole nother level. And Assassin's Creed changed into something brand new. And then we've got games like Star Wars Jedi Survivor that feels like a cinematic Star Wars game. How do you feel about these huge cinematic games and really incorporating both worlds, that love of narrative from your acting world to that hardcore journey in a game?
Yeah, I think in my eyes, it's got to be about you've got to respect the medium. So if I was gonna, if I was gonna give you a game where it felt like basically like a movie, like why is it a game? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think like that there's got to be a balance. So something that I really enjoy, for example, for like with God of War, is it does have that cinematic element, but the gameplay is king. Gameplay
sick.
is so good. It's sick. It's kinetic. It's moving. It's there. And ultimately, in the sense like the story almost needs to be seen as like a bonus in a way. And I think like even with like The Last of Us, I think The Last of Us is a great game. But you can tell that they're more focused on telling a story than they did with the actual gameplay. So I feel like, it's hard. You've got to as a game respect the medium of which you're in, rather than necessarily like if you're going to tell me a story game, well then find an interesting way of telling me a story, right? Like even like with us, like for our game, like we knew, for example, that yes, the story was going to be really important, but it shouldn't get in the way of gameplay. Like gameplay should be king, and it should really kind of feel fun and fun to pick up and play, and that's what brings people back. The story almost is a bonus that then accentuates it to another level. Whereas actually, if you begin going in with this idea of just wanting to tell a story, then you're not in the right medium. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's dope. See, now you know why I told you to big up the mechanics of your game. You brought it all the way around. You come with all of these niceties, and then at the end you tell him, yeah, we need to talk about the game. That's what I tell you to talk about the game, man.
And it's true, man. And it's true.
It's fully true. And I completely agree with you. Erica, we're only a short form podcast, so we're running out of time. But I just wanted to say, like, I've been in the gaming space for 7 years. And the reason why I stepped into the gaming space is I've been a gamer my whole life. I love video games. It's something super passionate to me. And I know the same is super passionate to you, like watching you and Ben talk and seeing different interviews and how much of it's being part of your life and your connection with you and your dad. And one of the things that really stood out to me is watching a lot of media and not seeing anyone that looks like me and not seeing anyone that's representing and sound like me and how I talk and how I move and stuff like that. And that's the reason why I stepped in the gaming space. And I'm super blessed 7 years later to actually still be in the space and still elevating and taking things to another level. And watching you on that stage made me so proud and really made me feel connected and made me know and it justified why I'm here. And yes, I'm here in that space, and to actually have you on my podcast and talk to you about what I'm doing. So I just really want to say I'm proud of what you're doing.
Thank you, man.
And the journey and the team and everything going on with the game. I want people to support it. But you know what? Quickly before we go, we gotta talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack in the game, fam, it's doing things. It is doing things. The soundtrack in the game is doing really good. So can you tell me a little bit about the soundtrack just before we wrap up? Because I have to give it its dues.
Man.
I can't just let that go.
No, of course. Of course. No, the soundtrack is something I brought on Anita almost at inception of this game. So it was like we really truly at the beginning. I brought Anita on and we were talking about the music from day dot, like how we wanted it to be representative, that traditional, but also captured that clash of the modern times of where we are in now. So, for example, like you've got the African drums, but then you've got the synth, and the synth, sometimes they clash and they don't work. They feel like they're fighting with one another, but when they start grooving, like it works. So like, personally, my favorite soundtrack on the OST, you'll hear it's a track called Greatness, and it happens and it plays whenever you're going on the combat trials, because it's this mixture of just, again, like kind of traditional kind of African sort of Bantu inspired music, but then it comes in with some like dirty beats, man, and you feel it, and you can feel it in your soul, and it's just like, it's brilliant, man. And like, I one of the things I remember talking to Anita about this is saying, I want to capture that same feeling as, like, for example, Black Panther did when they brought Kendrick in and they started, he started, working with other artists. I want to capture that same feeling of, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, where you've got
that moment. You want it to feel like a moment.
And it was just important, definitely done, man. That. And like, so that was something that I'm so proud of this soundtrack. And Anita went in, man. Like, again, we're an indie studio, so we didn't really know or have much to really kind of go with it. But Anita was like, nah, I'm pulling out all the guns. Actually,
listen, I know, even without listening, if you just see when Abubakar started talking about the soundtrack, bare slang started coming out of his mouth, and you see all the proper talking stopped. You get me? Man started busting slang. Honestly. His face started grilling. That's how good the soundtrack is. We've run out of time. Can you let the people know how they can support the game, what platforms it's on, where they can buy it, release date, and where your socials are, where they can come and find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So the game comes out April 23rd. Tales of Kenzera ZAU. It's going to be on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, Steam as well, PC. And essentially, really, just go out there and get it, man. And also share your love. Like, be loud about the support for this. I think that's the thing. I know for a fact that there are a lot of people out there, even myself, I was that kind of gamer who would silently purchase something and, kind of move on and play through it. But the louder we are about this, I feel the the more people hear about it, the more energy we get. So yeah, just
love
come
that.
for it, man, and be loud about it, be proud for it,
Yeah.
because that's what we're trying to be here. You can catch us, on all our socials. So Surgent Studios is on Instagram, TikTok, as well as Twitter, X, whatever people call it nowadays.
Straight Twitter, fam. We don't call that
Twitter,
thing
man.
X.
I'm not calling it X at all. Anyway, yeah. So we're on that, Surgent Studios. I'm on Instagram and Twitter as well. Abzi Salim on Instagram, but Abzi Babzi on Twitter, because some idiot took Abzi Babzi on my Instagram, man. Anyway, but that's another story. But yeah, you can catch us on there, and yeah, just be loud, man. Show some love, because we're all there. We're all about receiving it and giving it back. So
exactly. Go and show some love. And I'm showing some love for you for staying to the end of the episode. Thank you so much. Let me know in the comments below if you've heard of Tales of Kenzera, if this is the first time you're hearing about it, how quick you're going to go and copy it, what platform you're going to play it on. Let us know how you feel about them big story narrative games, and let us know what was the first game memory that you have. You get me? Let us know in the comments and we'll continue that conversation. I've been Mr. Midas. He's been Abubakar, and you've been amazing. We out of here. Peace.